Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Football Alumni of Michigan Virtual Tailgate, produced in partnership with the University of Michigan Alumni Association and with the help of the following U of M alumni clubs, the ones in Boston, Pittsburgh, Southwest Florida, Miami, Delaware, and of course, the city of Detroit. My name is Bruce Motti, and I will host today's Virtual Tailgate. For those who don't know me, I was the longtime PR man for the Michigan Athletic Department, and I'm very honored to host the series with the group from FAN. Today, Michigan football is playing Michigan State for the Paul Bunyan Trophy here at Michigan Stadium. Sun's out there. It's really bright, but you might not be able to see it very well, but we're here in the stadium. But before we get into that, we're going to talk football with some of our panelists. And before we even get into that, I'm going to turn this over to the head of FAM, Mike Martin, good friend of ours. And Mike, talk a little bit about FAM and welcome everybody.
Thanks, Bruce. I appreciate it. It's great to be here. Thank you for everybody showing up. On behalf of the Football Alumni of Michigan FAM, I want to welcome everybody to our second virtual tailgate. We're really excited about it. FAM is a nonprofit organization founded solely by former Michigan football players. And our mission simply is to empower, engage, and unite Michigan football alumni in the base. We believe each era, coach and player is a critical part of the Michigan tradition, and our goal is to amplify that success. As students at Michigan, we remember how close-knit our student body felt on game days, how excited we get, how much we love it. And we've all witnessed the change at the university and university presidents and athletic directors and so on. But we want to make sure that no matter what happens, the guys feel connected to the school and to the athletic department and to the alumni network. We've developed programming that advances our mission to empower the guys. We partnered with the Michigan Athletic Career Center, MAC, to help demystify the degree completion process. Our teammate assistance program, TAP, which we're really excited about, was created to help former players lacking basic resources to navigate through life. The TAP network has allowed us to provide dental, mental, financial support to members who need it most. And our FAM Matters virtual series provides, helps guys navigate through real life scenarios that we face when our playing days are over and we get into the real world and we're dealing with stress management. We've got things on estate planning, healthy community police relations, and CTE, just for, give a couple examples. So we're here at the FAM Virtuals Tailgate Series, and this is an opportunity for us to connect with the largest alumni base in the world while displaying the strength, success, and diversity of Michigan football. So Michigan alumni fans, you guys supported us during our playing days, and we want to make sure that you guys know that it means a lot to us. So now we just want to go ahead and go through it. Let's have some fun. Thanks, guys. Go Blue.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. You're doing a heck of a job. So let me introduce our panelists, and I'm going to start off with Mason Cole. Mason, by the way, is from Tarpon Springs, Florida. And this guy had scholarships offers from numerous universities, including Bama, Florida, Florida State, and Ohio State. But he came to Michigan, fortunately, and he became the first offensive lineman and starting the season opener of his true freshman season. And only a few of those guys have ever done that. So now Mason's with the Arizona Cardinals. He had a little bit of an injury problem in 2019, but he's back playing full-time right now, and it's great to have him aboard. Mason, thank you for joining us. First question for you. Tell me a little bit about how it has been to bounce back, especially during this COVID time, because it had to be a little bit different for you trying to get back into shape during COVID.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was it was definitely something that all of us athletes had to adapt to, and it was definitely hard because our facilities were closed. So just figuring a way to stay motivated and get your workout in was always tough, but at the end of the day, you just had to do it. We had to find a way. And so for me, I put a little workout set in my garage. And then with some buddies here that stayed here during the off season, just ran with them and did stuff with them. But it was definitely different, definitely strange. But there's really no excuse because everyone was going through the same thing.
It is a little bit different. We got some video from Mason. Let's roll that video if we can, Steve.
He's outside. He's down the sideline. Breaks it to the 20. He's at the 10 and falls down, but he just threw it. Here's the give to Higdon. Higdon up on the left guard. He fights, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan. Peters gives it to Evans. Tries it up in the middle. Breaks a tackle. He's into Minnesota territory at the 40-yard line. Breaks a tackle. He's at the 30, the 20, the 10. Chris Evans. Touchdown, Michigan. Offset eye. The give to Higdon. Guy's left guard. He's got room. He breaks it to the 40. Higdon could go. The 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown.
You kind of told throughout your career that, oh, you can't start as a freshman in college. You can't do this. You can't play offensive line as a freshman in college. But obviously that's not true. And once I got here and saw that I had an opportunity to start, I just kind of took it and ran with it, and it worked out for me.
You know, Mace, you know what I always love about highlight films of offensive linemen? I get to see the running backs all the time. I get to see Higdon. I get to see
very much.
So it's amazing, you know. And but you know, not only did you start as a freshman here at the University of Michigan, you started right off with the Cardinals too. You jumped right in there too. That's got to be exciting.
Yeah, man, it was obviously exciting. Dream come true. And you know, my rookie year, we were 3-13, so it didn't go as well as I would have hoped. But I mean, being thrown into the fire and getting after your rookie year was definitely an incredible experience. And I'll use those lessons my rookie year for the rest of my career.
Next, we're going to go with Brandon Watson. Let's roll some video of Brandon first. How about let's do this? I got to tell you, that must mean, Brandon, you're going to go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That's all it means. We're going to go right to Brandon. Let's talk a little bit about him, because Brandon, by the way, born in Delaware, and then he played high school ball in Maryland. He started as a free safety against the Chargers a couple of weeks ago. And what's interesting is you've been playing quarterback and you got moved in there. And when you were in your final season at U of M, you went to the Jaguars in 2018. You went to the Jaguars after that. You went as a free agent and found your spot with the Jaguars and really played well and found your spot. Congratulations on that. Thank you for being with us. You know, tell us how different it is as somebody who goes in as a draft pick and as a free agent. What are you looking at? What do you do as you're talking to all these teams? And how do you fit in there? Because, you know, they love to keep their draft picks.
Yeah, you know, it's not easy. Basically, you find your spot on teams, and throughout training camp, you just keep working, and just hopefully try to find your little niche to get in there and stay in there. So teams really help me. I got a question real quick for you in terms, you know, you're playing the different positions, corner, safety, with the Jaguars. How much different is that to play those two positions? How much, you know, because I think when you take a look from a layman's point of view, you're just in the defensive backfield. Tell us what the position changes, what is important to note about those position changes. Basically, you corners is a little bit more on the line of scrimmage, less to see. Safety, it's a broad range of things to see out there, and the different call makings. That in point of view of seeing the way the play develops. So it takes a lot to play either position. So it's not easy.
All right. Do we have that footage of Brandon there? Let's go. Yeah, there we go.
Overthrows his receiver, and Watson becomes the receiver and makes a fantastic over-the-shoulder catch. Any wide receiver on either one of these teams would be immensely proud of that catch by Brandon Watson.
Brandon Watson, this could be a pick six. He's at the 10, the 5. Brandon Watson goes the distance. Touchdown, Michigan. Tommy Stevens taking over with Trace McSorley. Goes straight back to throw, looking. Now he's going to bail out of the pocket left and going to run. Now he's going to throw, and he throws an interception. Michigan's got the pick. It could go the distance. It's at the 20-yard line, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Michigan. Pick six by the defense. That's Brandon Watson, his second pick six of the season.
You know, I got to ask you, Brandon, I don't know, do you know this, that you're only one of 4 players in Michigan history to return interceptions for multiple interceptions, or for multiple touchdowns? Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, only Tom Darden, Lance Dotton, and your teammate Lavert Hill are the only others to return interceptions for multiple touchdowns. And speaking of Lavert Hill, you guys talk about that backfield combination between you guys. I mean, that had to be something.
Just me and Lavert Hill, because you got to throw David on too.
Yeah.
It was just it was great chemistry. You know, we split time, and everybody just supported each other and coached each other up from the sideline, and we just cheering each other on. So basically, we just looked out for each other. If someone got hit on a fade ball and we're tired of the next play, then we would sub in and things like that. So it took years and great chemistry to be able to do what we did with the 3-man rotation.
Yeah, Brandon, we'll get back to you. We got a couple others that I want to talk about. Next one, let's talk about Mo Williams. Before we get to Mo, hopefully we got the video ready to go. So Mo.
Thomas back in there at the tailback. They fake it to him. Henson wants to go deep. Scott Terrell out there in the corner of the end zone. Touchdown. They're Swanee because they're not going for the field goal. They made Ohio State think they would. And it's Henson rolling around to the end. If he scores, it's over, and it is. Touchdown, Wolverine. They're taking the distance.
How many running backs do you know average 19 yards per reception? And now he's got it the more traditional way. The train to the outside and down to the Auburn 30. Double tight end on first down. The pitch back to Henson. They've been working on it. Henson going for it all. He's got Terrell in the end zone. Touchdown. She came out of Ohio State, and that boinked off somebody's helmet. It was picked up. It was tipped up in the air. Henson going deep. Guess who he's looking for? Terrell.
Mo, welcome. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while.
It's been years.
It's been years, I know. Take a look when we show the pictures and the video of you and Ty. They're not in HD, just so you know. At least they're not in black and white, though.
I know, so that's made me feel old, man. It's all pixelated.
But it was great. Just so everybody knows, Mo's a Detroiter. Man, he came. He went to Pershing High School. Started every game as a senior for Michigan on the offensive line. Started 100 games in his NFL career with the Jacksonville Jaguars after he was a second-round draft choice. And I think the most important thing that we want to talk about, Mo, right now is that you and your wife, Rolanda, are founders of the Mo Williams Family Foundation, a nonprofit organization committed to empowering Northeast Florida children and families to thrive by living purposeful and giving in healthy lives. So, Mo, welcome. Talk a little bit about what you're doing with this foundation.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess I go a lot of different ways. You know, just it's good to see my Michigan brothers on here. Brandon, you had to see me before all my gray hair now. So it's cool just to be here. But just going back, what I'm doing now here in the community, I played a long time here in Jacksonville. And so now I serve as chaplain for the Jaguars. And so I get a chance to serve the spiritual needs of the team, just helping them to navigate what is a high pressure industry, which you all know. And then with my foundation, I've been able to reach back out to the community. Just I focus a lot on this character and leadership. Speaking to young people, just really helping them to understand the importance of what it means to be a leader. And so I guess since my playing days, I spent a lot of time just doing things, giving back to the community, and then focusing on ministry.
When you take a look, how much did playing football at the University of Michigan help you with what you're doing now in your post-football career?
No, it helped me from the entire picture of everything that I do. Just had great leaders in Coach Carr and just all the leaders that we had as coach. That was really my first good glimpse of what it means to be a leader, and that's one of the things that he strives. So just being able to see that, you know, I had my mistakes and stuff I went through when I was at the University of Michigan, but when you get back on the right foot and you understand the importance of doing things the right way, you have a message to go back to give the young people. And that's one of the things I focus on now when I'm talking to young people, like, hey, learn from my story. And because you can go on to do a lot of great things. And so that's the importance. Even when I share my faith, I'm able to share opportunities and things that I've learned, some from knocking my head a little bit, and then some from I just learned some good wisdom from the word.
Well, Mo, you're doing some good work down there in Tampa, in Jacksonville area. And it's very interesting because another one of our individuals in another sport who has been doing a lot for young people with another sport is Mellevi Washington, former tennis player who's done much. Have you been able, do you know Mellevi? Have you worked with Mellevi? Have you talked to him?
I have. I had a chance to connect with him once. I had a chance to speak over at his center that he has, his tennis center. He's doing a great work over there. We actually need to connect a little bit more. And after we get out of this COVID, that's going to be on my list.
He's a good man. So are you, Mo. We'll get back to you later, but I want to introduce the last individual out here, and that's Ty Law. He played 15 seasons in the NFL. He played football, of course, with us, drafted in the 23rd overall position in the 1995 draft by the New England Patriots. Two-time All-Pro, five-time Pro Bowl selection, Pro Bowl MVP, won 3 Super Bowl with the Patriots, 53 career interceptions, ranks in the top 25 in the NFL. And as a University of Michigan All-American honors, the Walter Camp Foundation as a junior. He was an first-team All-American, All Big Ten Conference, MVP of the basketball team in high school. How about that? And the one thing I'm going to say, because I've never seen, went to the Hall of Fame induction last year in Canton, and Aliquippa, man, they came up big for you, man, they did. But let's see some highlights from Ty, and then we'll get in and talk to Ty.
Play action by Young, firing long and deep, and intercepted by Ty Law.
Winky fires a bit, intercepted on the play. It's picked up by Ty Law, and he'll be in a foot race with Steve Smith into the end zone.
And Warner goes back to throw, and here's the blitz by Mike Vrabel. The pass is intercepted. Picked up by Ty Law, 30, 25, 20, 15, touchdown. Ty Law picks it up and takes it to the house, and the Patriots take the lead. And the Patriots are Super Bowl champions.
Welcome, Ty Law. And Ty, I tell you, it's good to see you again. Enjoyed our time last year at the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies. That was quite a time, but that one of the great moments of your life. Speaking about great moments, when you take a look at playing Michigan, playing with the Patriots and the pros and the Hall of Fame, I mean, what's your greatest football career moment? Is there one?
You know what? It's hard to pick one because, you know, I've had great moments in high school, which I'm always like, no matter what I accomplished, it always stemmed back to my days growing up in Aliquippa. So, you know, that was the root of it all. So I always got to put extra emphasis on, you know, my hometown and the way I was taught to play the game, you know, just growing as a young man and as an athlete. You know, the demand was so tough. I always say the college and pros was easy, you know, compared to what I had to go through in high school. You know what I mean? Because, you know, we had the type of program that, you know, so much was expected out of you. You know, I mean, losing was not an option. You know what I mean? It wasn't accepted. I mean, they don't. I know it's cliche. They don't give away participation trophies, but you know, where I come from, you play the game to win. You know what I mean? It's a lot of other lessons that can be taught playing the game. But Aliquippa, if you lose, that's the worst week. Worst week. You're like, nobody in the town want to talk to you.
One of the first plays that you got stuck with as a freshman was a Notre Dame game. There was a pass interference call that I know this is going to be hard for people to remember. It was 1992 pass interference at Notre Dame. I swear it had to be a terrible call. I'll never forget that. That had to be one of the first days I started to talk to you in the locker room about how to answer, when you get into those type of situations. But do you remember that play as well as I do? I probably do, don't you?
It's one of those plays that, stick out. And it was, I was on the opposite side of the call, similar to the Hail Mary. Those things, no matter what I've done, those things still stick out. But it was actually a play that it gave me a lot of confidence too. Being a true freshman at the time, the first game out, I'm coming off of a long season, the state championship game in Pennsylvania, to be able to come back and play as a true freshman in the first game in Michigan and Notre Dame, and just to see that sea of gold. It was crazy just to be out there, because all my guys, that I played with, they were still back at home. So it was only myself, Amani Toomer, Mercury Hayes. We were only true freshmen, dressing to play, and I was on defense. So at least they had each other. So I was over there with all the old guys. So it was a little bit uncomfortable because they don't know me like that, but it was a great experience overall, man. And I'm glad that I got out there. It gave me a lot of confidence. And I think my teammates, being I was the new guy, they started to gain confidence in me too, because, everybody thought that was a bullshit call.
That's what I do. That's what I do like about the internet. We don't have to worry about what's going to go on in the air.
You're right.
And that's a nice thing on that one. So now you're done playing. Now what are you doing?
Well, I just got invested into a vodka company, and I'm so excited about it. But before that, I was in family entertainment. I started off with it was called Launch Trampoline Park, turned into Launch Family Entertainment, because we evolved from since 2013 when I started. But we went from 1 to 36 locations nationwide, and like I said, started off with one store, and then I right before the COVID, I fortunately for me that I sold my interest and went full tilt on my vodka brand, which is we're now the I gotta put your visual guys.
You have to.
See. Hey, we're the official vodka of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We're sold right now throughout Michigan. Right now we're in Ann Arbor, but we're gonna do a campaign and distribute throughout Michigan. We're all through New England, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. And I'm excited about this one, guys. We're the only vodka in the world. The only one in the world that's made of 100% spelt. So we're so different than any other vodka. We got double gold first place at San Fran International Spirits Competitions, which is like the Hall of Fame for the spirits industry. My favorite is the cucumber. And with lemonade, guys, it's called the Pick Six, the signature drink. Hey, it's the real deal. So V1 Vodka, go find it. I appreciate the support and the love.
All right. We're going to get back. But right now, I want to remind everybody in our audience that you can submit questions. We want you to submit questions. We're going to have some from our alumni presidents, but please submit the questions up. And if we can get you on the video, we will. If we can't, we'll try to get your questions in as much as we possibly can, because we do want the audience to ask the guys what you think is important. And right now, I'm going to start off. I was going to go back and forth, but we already got one question from a Charlie Denton, and all you guys answer. And we'll start this one. We'll start right off with Ty, and then we'll go backwards. Ty, Mo, Brandon, then Mason. What's it like playing against other University of Michigan football alums in the NFL? Ty?
I love it. We were teammates, or we got something in common, and we stick together. When we're going against another team, all the guys come together, especially when it's times like now, Michigan State, Ohio State. Even if we didn't play in the same era, we all stick together. You guys can relate to that, but it's also fun when you play against them. You know what I mean? Because, whether you play with them, like when I used to play against Amani Toomer, we going at it like we went at it one-on-one, back in Michigan. It was fun. I know you, you know me, let's compete. But it's all love at the end of the day. And, I think it's a great thing that, one, what we're doing right now, but two, we're always family, no matter what. But if we're playing against each other, somebody got to lose, and I used to always try to make sure that it wasn't me, so I have bragging rights when we come back to campus.
Mo, what about you, Mo?
No, that was the part of the game I enjoyed. Just being able to play against different teammates and guys you played against in college. But then, too, I remember playing like James Hall. Like, okay, this dude is a good player. He knows me from my moves from back in college. He already had a couple years in the league. But to be able to play him and do well, I got my game ball up here from that game. And then also just like Dhani Jones and a couple other guys that playing against as an offensive lineman. It's just no matter who you line up against, you love to compete, but it's just a little bit different. I know Foot played for Pittsburgh, so after the game when we beat him, I always be like, "Hey, Foot, where you going, man?" He'll leave that Foot so quick. You're going to try to have conversations, but you enjoy playing the game. You enjoy when you have a chance to play against somebody you get a relationship with.
Brandon, what about you?
I mean, I love it. It's you always practice against them, but you never play against them. So just full speed hitting them. It's just a different feeling, and it's fun. Definitely when you know the person and you can joke around before, after the play. So I love it.
And Mason, you get to play against some of the old guys too, like Brandon does, and some of the new guys that are out there from our school. Talk about playing against those guys.
Yeah, man, I think it's awesome. I think it's, in this industry, like you get so wrapped up and you're so busy week to week. You don't always stay in contact with all those guys. So seeing them after the game or during the game, just bringing us back together is always awesome. And I got a couple of guys' jerseys, and that's always cool to have a former player's jersey. So it's been really cool. That's one of my favorite things after the game or before the game is to meet up with those guys and compete against them. So it's been fun.
Got another question here from Douglas E. And I'm going to ask Mason this one because it's more about playing in empty stadiums and how it changes the outcome of the game and how you feel out there. What do you think about, does it change the outcome of the game and how do you feel about playing there? I'll ask you and then really quick to Brandon.
No, I mean, I think the weirdest part is like during pregame when there's no fans in the stands, but once the game gets going, it's just like any other game. It is a little easier on the road. Like we play in a couple of weeks, we play Thursday night in Seattle, and it'll be nice to not have any fans there. So it's definitely a little different, but once the game's rolling, it seems normal. You're not really worried about if there's fans or not fans. You're just there to play ball.
Brandon, what do you think?
Yeah, really just before and after the games and on the sideline, it's kind of just different not hearing the fans. But I had the fans in there, but it's definitely different. When you get on the field, just kind of like zoning into what you got to do there, so it kind of zones out. But it's a different feeling. You can hear a lot more of what the coaches are saying and yelling at you from the sideline. So.
Well, we're going to go right now. We're going to probably get to Jason Cummings. But before we go there, there's one thing that we got this thing, Ty, and I don't know if I should even ask this question to you. I have to ask you, why did you tell somebody to stop practicing so hard when he came in as a freshman in '94? Terrence Quinn asked this question. He says he's laughing on this. He says he was a demo receiver going against you, going hard, and you told him to stop going too hard because it was too hot out there.
I don't remember that, man. It might be one of I don't know, that might he living on Fantasy Island right there. I don't remember that one, but if I told him to slow down, I must have been tired, and if I was a veteran at the time, slow down. I don't know. I gotta bring something back on that highlight clip. I must be real old because that was my first sack against Coach Harbaugh up there. You know what I mean? I'm old. That mean when you sacking the head coach, and he's been around a long time, another Michigan guy. That's old, man. So thank you guys for making me feel, like crap. I'm
hey, at least there's some guys I know that are in black and white yet, so don't worry about that. You're one of the young guys. You're one of the young guys. Jason, we got some questions from the Alumni Club presidents. Why don't we turn it over to Jason Cummings? Jason? No, Jason, you're unmute. Unmute yourself there. There you go.
Hey, so I was double muted. So I was saying thanks a lot. We're going to start with Bill from the Detroit club. So Bill, go ahead and ask your questions to one of the panelists. Be sure to unmute yourself and turn your camera on if you can.
Yeah, thanks to all the players for the great memories over the years. I wanted to ask about recruiting. Bruce mentioned Maurice went to Pershing, but the others, the out-of-staters, I was curious as to what kind of pressure you got from family and friends to stay closer to home. And for Maurice, was interested if you had any personal role in recruiting fellow Doughboy Larry Foote to come and be a Wolverine.
Definitely. My time there, I was the #1 recruit in the state, so I can kind of pick where I wanted to go at the time. And this Michigan was always my favorite. I was trying to hold out not to commit verbally until the very end because I wanted to do my visits. And but recruiting wise, it was not a lot of pressure. I think they were actually fine if I went to Michigan or Michigan State. And it was just something about Big Blue. I'm happy I chose Big Blue. For Foote, definitely I think it made it easier just knowing that I was already there. So he knew what the expectations that came from the staff here in Michigan and just knew what it would take to actually succeed. And he was a good football player. So I think it made it real easy for him to make the choice.
Brandon?
Yeah, they let me know it was my decision, and I wanted to get out of Delaware and kind of just see what's around. So went to Ann Arbor, fell in love with it. I just knew that's where I wanted to go.
Mason, you were asked by a lot of by a lot of schools. So you had a lot of pressure from a number of different areas.
Yeah, growing up in Florida, grew up a Florida State fan, so was recruited by them and Florida and all the schools in the Southeast. But when I was coming out, I really wanted to go to a school that had something more than just football. And I don't think there's any better place in the country than Michigan in terms of academic success, networking, and just what it has to offer as a whole package. So I left warm Florida, went up to Michigan. So I'm glad I did it.
Ty, you, of course, coming out of Pennsylvania. My question, did Penn State coming into the league help you follow the University of Michigan as a Big Ten school?
No, they wasn't. When I was there, what year did they come in?
They came in probably, you know what? You might have been when recruited. It might have been just when you were being recruited.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about your recruiting then.
Yeah, I had a lot of opportunities. I was a All-American coming out of high school, and my goal was to go play for the ACC, Clemson. I thought I would be going down there or Georgia Tech, and I actually end up verbally committing to Georgia Tech. But I was, I thought about it, and I was going there for all the wrong reasons. I was actually the last recruit at Michigan, so I was one of them high school guys that had somewhat of a chip, on my shoulder because I thought that I could play, and I thought I would play. This team right here, Michigan State, that we're about to play, did the most disrespectful stuff ever, and part of me wanted to just go play them because he came to my living room to recruit me. And at the time, Diallo Anderson, former Michigan Wolverine, he was the #1 DB, in the country. He had went to Fort Union Military Academy. So Michigan State sat in my living room with myself and my grandfather, and he told me, "Look, Ty, I can remember it like it was yesterday as well. You're good. We think you can play here. But they got a kid by the name of Diallo Anderson hiding down there, and I just don't. You won't play for a while. I mean, he's that good." He ended up being my damn roommate too. You know what I mean? But Michigan State told me that I would not play. Don't go to Michigan because of him. So I asked him politely to leave. I walked out. My grandfather thought it was rude. Hey, don't do that. Hey, I said, nope, they done now. And I walked right out of Michigan State, and I told him to get the hell out of my house, telling me somebody better than me and I can't play. So, I'm always rooting for Michigan State to lose, whether they play in Michigan or not, because that kind of stuff sticks with me.
Jace, next question.
All right, Ty. Yeah, Ty, I got a few other questions. One question, Ty. What was the most, and this is from Barry Waldman, and he wants to know what was the most passionate pregame speech you ever remember hearing, before Michigan State or any game.
You know what? I got to be honest. Certain things stick out, but I've heard a lot of great pregame speeches. But I was the type of the guy get into my own head. Some things go in one ear and right out the other because I'm focused on, what I have to do. I mean, you have to be able to do that and compartmentalize, your thoughts. And, that was one of my strong suits, because whether it was positive, negative, I had enough in my head to go out there and compete, and I had enough on my plate. So nothing really stands out to say that really made me want to go play, or I would like to hear that speech again. I can't think of nothing off the top of my head.
All right. Is anybody
But I will
else?
say, I want to say, go back to the Georgia Tech. I committed there. I thought I was going, and I committed for all the wrong reasons. I had a great visit, guys. You guys know what I'm talking about. I had a great visit. They took me to places I shouldn't have been, and I said, you know what? I'm coming here because I had a good time. I thought about it when I went home, and I'm like, as far as the education standpoint, the University of Michigan is going. I was the last recruit that signed. And you know what? They playing 6 games on TV, and my grandfather can come see me play. I was not going to go to Pitt or Penn State because I wanted to do something different than everyone else in my hometown going to Pitt or Penn State. And I say, you know what? University of Michigan is the choice for me. And the rest is history. And that's the best choice that I ever made, because, I made it to beyond football. You can't get a better education than the University of Michigan.
No, that's good, Ty. I agree. So we're going to go to a couple of the club leaders to ask some questions. So let's go to Greg from Miami. Greg, if you could unmute yourself and turn on your camera, you can ask a question to the panel.
Yeah, thanks so much. It's great to be here, checking in from Miami. Go Blue. So last week I was on as an attendee, and there was a lot of talk about the clam chowder at Campus Inn. So my question is going to be about, like, what was your favorite, like, pregame meal, or like your favorite food in Ann Arbor?
Start with Mace.
Man, favorite pregame meal. I don't know if there's a meal, but I remember at the graduate, there was always they always put cookies in our bedroom at nighttime. Or when Harbaugh got there my sophomore year, he always had a milkshake station set up. But favorite food in Ann Arbor. I mean, you guys know there's so much good food in Ann Arbor. I'd say Pizza House is up there. I mean, we went to Pizza House a bunch. A lot of it was often late night after Rick's across the street. So Pizza House is definitely up there. But man, there's so much good food in Ann Arbor.
Brandon, what do you think?
First of all, I used to work at Pizza House, so I'll get that food there. But for me, in the mornings before the game, I always snuck to a little coach's station, got myself a little coffee roll and some coffee itself. And that was all I needed for the game. So that and not in season, go to Bar Louie on Friday nights. They had a little Latin night, so that was always fun, and I enjoyed the food there. Every time I go back, I go to Bar Louie. So yeah, that's it.
Oh, we're going back a few years now.
I don't forget food, man. I'm like Mason. I was looking forward to that cookie on my bed. That's always something I'm looking forward to. But the clam chowder and the steak dinner before game was always on point. I remember my rookie year, I played, but all the vets wouldn't let me eat my steak. They always took my steak, so all I had was chicken. So when I got a little older, I was able to eat my steak. I was excited about it. So steak and potatoes was big for me. And then Mr. Spots was our wing spot when I was there, man. So Mr. Spots, and I love some buffalo wings, man. So that was always a great place, and Amazing Blue Deli.
Hey, what's the spot next to Mr. Spots? We was going there. What's it right next to it?
Oh my God, I'm trying to.
Liquor store?
Huh?
No, Pizza Bob's.
Yeah, that's right. That's Pizza Bob's Super Sub. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Pizza Bob's. Yeah, that was when I was there. Y'all talking about Pizza House? I ain't never heard of that one. I know Cottage Inn. I'm a Cottage Inn guy. I'm old school.
Hey, Ty. Hey, did you know what The Graduate was? Did you hear Mason say The Graduate? You heard of The Graduate before? Mason, tell what.
No, I thought he was talking about the movie.
They changed the name of the hotel. They changed the name of the hotel. So I got.
Oh, you know what? I did come up the last time. Now, okay, I know what that is. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No problem. Before we get back to the club leaders, I got a question from Willie Green, and this question is for Ty and Mo. And the question is, how did you go about figuring out what you were going to do after football, and are there any individuals instrumental in helping you out with that transition?
You want me to go first?
You go.
Yeah, you can go first.
Well, I mean, for me, I always had a entrepreneurial spirit. I knew I wanted, my ultimate goal was to play football and play in the NFL. I was blessed and fortunate enough to be able to do that. But I knew with, the career and the money that I would make, that I wanted to work for myself, especially after being in the NFL, being cut 3 times. So, everybody say I was released. Damn it, you was fired. I got fired 3 times, guy. You know what I mean? But you got to still keep moving and work through whatever that is. And, I still end up being in the Hall of Fame. So things happen for a reason. So I always say that I want to help people and employ people. And I took a special, interest from day one when I went into college. I had a great group of mentors. I sat down with one of the best days to help me after my career was sitting down with Magic Johnson. And he took like 4 or 5 hours out of his day, spent the day with him talking about business, having lunch, and just how he evolved from where he was as a player to where he is at as a businessman. So that was a huge influence on me. But, talking about people in business, because everyone can look around and say, oh, this is nice. This is nice. Even just going into a restaurant, for me, I look at the menu. I'm like, how do they keep all this food fresh? How much do they throw away? I was always intrigued about how we get to this point in business. You know what I mean? So, just being an entrepreneur, working, for myself, helping other people, employing other people, just like, I employed 2,000 people in my last company. And that makes me feel good, keeping, kids off the streets and things like that and doing something productive. And I just always wanted to give back in that way and be my own boss.
That's good. I had, for me, I think when I got done, to start following my passions. And I took a year off when I got done. After I put in a lot of work to earn the year. And so after that, man, I joined in a ministry school. And then shortly after that, I started my foundation. I started doing a lot of community work. So I always had this passion to coach and to teach and to do different things like that. So, and my foundation allowed me the opportunity to do that. I probably spoke in almost every school here in Jacksonville and started going into different places as well. And just really helping young people just get a picture for where they would like to be. And then being able to transition over into the ministry world that I am, I think I had some influence from, I think, Tony Dungy, Corin Anthony, who was the head of pro ministry there, Bruce Dishno, who was a Michigan chaplain there on campus. So some of the guys that I talked to about this particular world that I had an opportunity to go in. And really for me, I'm chasing purpose. And getting the ministry is not something that you're not gonna get rich off of it, but it's actually it's part of my calling and what God has called me to do. So I love the opportunity just to share with guys like Brandon or anybody else. It's a cool opportunity, because one thing that I've learned, you get so much from the game, and you get money, wealth, fame, but there's still a part of you that has to be discovered. And God, for me, has helped me to discover the other part of me.
That's great. Thanks, Ty and Mo. We're going to go back to a couple of club leaders. Charlie from Boston, you can unmute yourself and turn on your camera and ask your question.
Good morning and go blue. My question out from Boston is regarding coaching. Obviously, every Sunday we get to watch one of the best coaches ever. And now at Michigan, we got a very good coach in Harbaugh going up against a new coach in Michigan State. So as my question is, how important is coaching, especially in rivalry weeks like we got right now?
Start with Mo. Why don't we start with Mo this time?
Right, coaching is absolutely necessary. I think that was, if I go back to high school ball, one thing that separated us from some of the teams that we'll see in the playoffs was coaching. Not knocking my high school coach, man, I love you. But when I go back, coaching is everything. And I think the cool thing about this upcoming rivalry is Mel Tucker and Coach Harbaugh. Mel Tucker was down here as a defensive coordinator, so I know him. And but I'm not wishing him success this week. It's still a rivalry week, and I want to see them lose big. And so when it comes down to going into games, coaching is huge. You got to make sure that you have the essential pieces. That's why it's such a turnover in the NFL, such a turnover in the college game when you're not able to get the wins. Coaching is everything.
Jace, I think because we're getting a little close to the time, why don't we get the other question in, because we got a couple more questions. So
sure,
we'll get to
Alman. Let's go ahead and bring you in. There you are. Go ahead and ask your question.
Morning. Calling from Naples, Florida. Beautiful down here today. I'm in awe of all your talent and appreciate the opportunity to speak to you. A couple of you have alluded to the academic support you had while you were at University of Michigan, or the academic talent that's there. I'd love for you to speak a little bit about the academic rigors there and what sets University of Michigan apart in your mind, and the academic support that you had to make you successful. And if you had any trouble, talk us through how you were able to be successful and work your way through that.
Why don't we start?
I would say for me, the academics, you realize once you get there that Michigan puts, because we as athletes, we come in, we want to play football. We thinking about the football. Yeah, we know about the academics and the history, how important it is, but at the same time, we're coming there to play Michigan football. The university itself lets us know that this is a learn first institution, because as soon as you go into orientation, it's like, the class, and they're really adamant about it. I mean, I think they're one of the few schools, at least when I was there, they would go actually check if you were in class. They take it that seriously. And then as far as the extra study, the study hours, that study table, providing you with mentors and tutors and things like that is very, very important. And they won't hesitate, to sit you down if your academics aren't right. So when the university in the head of the program puts that much emphasis on, hey, we are education first, football second, it resonates and it translates down to the field, because if your dream is to play football, my goal was to go to the NFL. I couldn't just be there to play football, even though if I had it my way, especially at that time as a young athlete, I wanted to put as much time into football as I can because this was my goal. But they bring you back down to reality and say, oh, if you don't go get these grades, if you don't have this GPA right, if you don't go to class, you ain't going to have this opportunity to go and live your dream. So I thank Michigan for doing that, for keeping me in line, saying that you got to go there because you have to be responsible, for your education as well. And believe it or not, a lot of universities are like that. It's about winning football games first and foremost. And then, whatever happens after that happens, but not at the University of Michigan.
Mason and Brandon. Mason and Brandon, you want to just chime in real quick on that?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons I went to Michigan, because there's this standard of academic success there that they don't let slide, no matter who you are, no matter what you're doing on the field. They demand that level of excellence in the classroom. Kind of like Ty said, they do such a good job of making sure you're on top of everything that, I mean, you really got to slack off to really get out of line, because they just do such a good job of making sure you're in class, making sure you're in the study hall, making sure you're making the grades and turning in papers and tests on time. So like I said, it's just part of the package at Michigan. I know some guys don't like that, but it just is what it is. There's a standard of excellence, not only on the football field, but in the classroom too.
All right, let's go. Jace, you have another question there? We'll try to get as many questions in as we can.
Yeah, and you guys did a great job, and we wanted to get a couple questions in. So I'm going to ask one more question to Ty, and then we're going to roll, a clip about our teammate assistance program, and then we'll come back after that. But Ty, I mean, you balled out, great career, great entrepreneur, but everybody wants to know, about another Michigan man that you had the opportunity to play with. So people just want to understand, playing with Brady. Kind of what's that like, and what are some experiences, or if you got a story for us, roast them a little bit.
I mean, hey, you know what, Brady, the one thing about him, people don't understand that his competitive nature. Everybody, you hear about the Michael Jordans, his competitive nature, and Kobe Bryant. Tom Brady is in that same category when it comes to competitiveness. I mean, you talking about a guy that hates to lose, but he also puts the work in to make sure that he has the better odds of winning. A lot of people don't like to lose, but they don't want to put the work in to make sure that doesn't happen. Tom was a hard worker from day one. I'm talking about, we used to tear him up now. When he came in as a young buck and, in practice playing scout team, I mean, it was a lot of bad days, because we had an outstanding defense, man, but Tom keep coming back at you. He's coming back. And I'm like, man, he's one of the first guys in, one of the last guys to leave. And for him to still be doing that after he has already established himself as Tom Brady, he's the face of the, NFL. Now he's the GOAT of all. I mean, it's no question about it. And he still has that same hunger to be successful. You know what I mean? He takes care of his body. I mean, like I said, the consummate competitor, because he's never going to go out there and win any long distance contest with throwing the ball. He's damn sure not going to outrun nobody. You know what I mean? So if you take all the intangibles that you think, oh, this is a great, athlete here, he can throw the ball, run. Tom is like the polar opposite of that. Not saying that he can't do what he have to do, but he's not going to win the long ball contest. You know what I mean? He's not going to outrun a Lamar Jackson or guys like that we're seeing that's kind of rocking the league right now. But as far as a model of consistency, willing to win, not worrying about what anybody else will say as far as the stats, Tom is going to throw to the open guy. So I think receivers can learn something from him, because he doesn't give a damn who you are. If you're not open, if you're not where you're supposed to be, or this game plan isn't for you, I got to make it up to you next time if I can. But I'm throwing to the open guy. And that's very rare, because you're talking about, receivers, their personalities, the divas and all that. I still call them divas. I'm a DB, damn it. They divas. So when you get a receiver coming to Tom, and I've seen this so many times, I'm open, give me the ball. You know what I mean? He doesn't pay attention to that. He doesn't care about the 30, 40-yard strike as much as a lot of guys do for the highlight. He's going to dink and dunk down the field, because at the end of the day, it's about winning. And that's why he is the greatest quarterback of all time. That's why he is still playing. He protects himself. He knows what's going on. He watches film. He studies. And like I said, I've never in my day seen a quarterback get into the middle of the pile, jumping and hitting with all the big guys, because they're usually the quarterback. You can't touch those guys. The guy on the red shirts, don't touch him. Tom is always in the mix. And I knew it was something from day one, the way he handled himself, his poise, that he's going to be special. But no one, and I mean absolutely no one, can think that he would turn out to be what he is today. But you've seen something special in him. But if anybody says they knew Tom was going to be that, I say you're a damn lie.
Okay, I'm going to turn this over to Jason and to Mike Martin, because I've got to go do some work with Dan Dierdorf and Jim Brandstatter. And as Mason and Mo know, if you don't listen to offensive linemen, they don't help you down the road, okay?
Yeah, they don't block for you.
They don't block for me, man. I got to get those guys. And the other thing is, I might have to find a spot to move in with those two guys. I'm the small guy in that thing. Right. I'm like a little Jamie Morris without the speed and the talent, though. But anyways, thanks for everything. We're going to catch you everybody next week. Yep. Mason, Brandon, Mo, Ty, great to see you guys. Go Blue. Jace, turn it over to you and Mike.
Yep.
Hey, all right, Blue. I got to run too, thanks, guys. Fellas. If you guys got a few more minutes, we'll keep it going. But if you got to drop, I understand.
I got to drop, cuz. Hey, thank y'all. Good seeing you, Mo.
Okay.
Brandon,
all right.
Hey, Mace. All right, take it easy, man. All right.
See you guys.
All right, thanks. All right, thanks, fellas. So we're going to Bernsey, if you got it ready, let's cut to that clip for the teammate assistance program, just to let guys know about some of the work we're doing.
100 through 103. I'm here today to talk to you about the Teammates Assistance Program, or TAP for short. TAP was founded by the football alumni in 2018 to confidentially help members of the Michigan football family in need of support. The TAP network provides a conduit to medical, financial, and psychological assistance to teammates with limited options. Confidentiality is an essential part of TAP. As football players, we're proud. Asking for help isn't something we're inclined to do. If you need help, or if you know a fam member who needs help and isn't getting it, please let us know. To do so, visit tap.michiganfootballalumni.org and click the appropriate button. Someone will be in touch very soon. Please also consider joining the TAP network. The network is open to everyone, not just former players, and it's designed to help in many ways. You don't have to be a doctor or lawyer. That's great if you are, but we can use all sorts of people. Someone to pick up groceries, provide ground transportation, perform wellness checks. If you're willing to help a guy who needs it, please join the TAP network at tap.michiganfootballalumni.org. And finally, you can make a fully tax-deductible donation to TAP. Your financial support will help us take care of more of our guys. 100% of your donation will go to helping teammates in need. To donate, visit tap.michiganfootballalumni.org. Thank you.
All right, thanks. So we got another question for the panelists, and that question is, it's the rivalry with State has always been there, but clearly it has gone to the next level, over the past decade. So what was the tone of the rivalry, for Maurice? What was the tone of the rivalry back in the 90s as far as intensity compared to now? And then, for Mason and Brandon, what do you guys think would be the keys, to this game? But let's start with Mo.
That was a rivalry. That was an in-state rivalry. We know when we played down, there was going to be guys from around the state that you probably played high school ball with. So the game was already just a little bit more intense than the other games. And then you're just playing for that Paul Bunyan trophy. Unfortunately, we was 3-1 against them. I think my second year, I think we actually lost. We ended up losing to them after the national title year. I could be messing up some numbers now. I'm getting a little older. But that was the one year that we lost, and I just remembered you didn't like that. You didn't like that feeling, just knowing that whole year that Paul Bunyan was in somebody else's house. And so the focus was go back and beat Michigan State. And it almost had the sense of the little brother thing. So when Mike Hart said that some years ago, man, it did feel like that, because that was a series that we expected to dominate.
Mason, in terms of the rivalry, in terms of today, what do you think are some of the things you've seen personally over the past couple of years, and what do you think the keys are, to the game today?
I mean, back when I was playing, I think the biggest thing with this game is it's a physical game, and I think the most physical team always wins. I think it's a chippy game, it's a physical game. It can get dirty at sometimes, but those are kind of, as an offensive lineman, those are kind of games you love. Kind of those nitty-gritty games. But man, I'm excited about this game today. I think it should be huge for us, and hopefully we're the more physical team.
Really, for me, some of the keys is to get out early, establish the run, so we can open up the pass, and defense get a couple of crucial stops early. I think the last couple of games me and Mason played in, we didn't do that right away. We didn't do like all three. We didn't put them together. So if we can do that early, it'd be a really fun game to watch.
Jason, I think you're muted.
Question for you, Mo. We talked about fans in our programming and things like that, but you kind of had a unique experience, with FAM, over the past year. You mind talking about, that interaction and, what was going on, and, how FAM was there for you?
Yeah, definitely. This year's COVID-19, as much quarantine and cleaning, hand sanitizing. You talk about making sure you're staying safe. I think my family ended up coming down with COVID-19. And so my wife, all my kids got it. But one, I started off not having it, but then taking care of them, I ended up having the COVID-19. And so we had a chance to experience in our household just the ugliness of that. And we're thankful that God got us through it. But one of the cool things I was talking to Jason, and I think he was asking me about some things about the program that he's doing. He's like, hey, man, what's going on with you? I was just like, man, I'd love to, man, but I'm down under the weather right now. And Jason did a good job, man. Just connecting me back to some of my old teammates. Had Coach Carr call me, Coach Gilderson, my strength coach, and Sam Sword, Zeus, Eric Mays, Larry Foote. And just started really connecting with some guys, man. And it was encouraging because if you just watch CNN during that time, man, you was just like, man, okay, am I about to die? Like, what's going on? So it was one of those definitely unsure moments, but it was cool to have some of your old teammates and coaches and friends just calling and checking on you. So Jason, I appreciate it. I appreciate all during that time. And that's one thing about alumni and just friends in general, man. Just being willing to check on somebody, see how they're doing through tough times. Even if they're doing okay, man, it's just good just to hear like, okay, you're getting through this thing. And so I appreciate the fan for that.
No, it's our pleasure, man. And we're glad you're doing okay. And it's all about team for everyone. And we're doing everything we can just to stay connected. So, that's all we got for Q&A. We went a little bit over today. So I'm going to, kick it back over to Bernsey. You can play our closing video. I want to thank Brandon, Mason, and Mo again, just for taking time out. Mason, I know this was really early for you, man, but you brought that energy, though. He brought the energy. Hey, Brandon, appreciate you, brother, and much safety and health to everyone. And Brandon, be sure you stay in touch with Mo, man. He's kicking a lot of wisdom over there. So make sure you see the gray hair so you know he's official. So, keep that up as well. But thanks to everyone for FAM. Please stay in touch with us. We're going to put some links in here during the last video where you can contact us. If you want to do some business with us, you're interested in partnership, contact us. And Brandon and Mason will connect with you because we want to support some of your efforts. If it's a nonprofit you support, or personal business, because it's all about the brotherhood. So I'm going to sign off and pass it over to Bernsey, and go Blue, and let's beat Steak. Thanks everyone for joining in.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, guys.
This is the University of Michigan.
What a football game we're going to have here this afternoon.
You are looking live at a sold-out
103,000. Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor. And the football game from Ann Arbor.
The nation will rock with the praises of the Maize and Blue this evening.
Where we respect integrity and honor excellence.
The jubilation and cheering long into the night.
Here come the Wolverines.
We are loyal Wolverines.
Today, your football team is #1 in the country, and it's all right here.
Standing for Midwestern values, hard work, determination, and an enthusiasm unknown to mankind.
The old season is over. It's going to be Michigan again.
We are the best university in the world. Students and athletes and professors achieving at the highest level.
You better believe it.
This is our legacy and our future. We are proud members of the Big Ten Conference in pursuit of national championships.
We'll win this championship.
We have won more games than any team in the country. No one has won more. We believe in football.
We did it.
Championship football.
He has off the Shellerquist.
For Braylon, up in the air. Touchdown! Touchdown, Billy! Shoelaces dropping in the wind.
We shy away from no challenge or opponent.
Brady.
We bow to no man. We bow to no program. We are Michigan.